But yeah, let's now go on to our second topic of the podcast. Um, so once Arena actually comes back, what CA needs to do to make Arena a success? Because obviously, if Arena fails again, it is never going to get back up. Like third time's the charm, right? I don't think they're gonna kill it and then revive it for the fourth round. So yeah, what CA needs to do to make Arena succeed in the West once it comes back, or if it comes back, if you want to be more pessimistic. So well, let's start with marketing. What are your guys' takes on that topic?
They
Just have to do it.
exactly.
Yeah,
what I
well,
was gonna
yeah.
say.
First of all, they have to
need
actually
do
start
some
promoting.
marketing.
Yes. Kiwi.
No, I was literally saying exactly what Falcon was saying. They need to do something
Like,
because
literally
yes,
anything.
I
Yeah.
get it. They're not publishers. They don't have a marketing budget for Total War Arena. That's not in their purview. But at least if they're not willing to put money, then they need to support the people who are willing to do it on their behalf for free. So things like being open with like assets, so that content creators can use their assets as much as possible, and releasing patch notes, and then doing the developer streams that they used to do. And these things, I think, were really effective in getting some community engagement. And also, as that really important point that you mentioned before, Mr. about that large population of people that kind of have one reason or another to not come back to the Chinese version. I feel like this would give them a lot of hope if they can see that actually CA are taking this really, really seriously, and it is going to go somewhere regardless of, what happens. And, they're absolutely, both CA and NetEase are absolutely behind it 100%.
I have a suggestion as well. Obviously, they said do something, which they need to do this time. But realistically, any game that wants to survive on PC has to come to Steam. Like, I mean, there are games that can get away with it, like Blizzard games, but that those are the exceptions to the rule, right? Like Blizzard only allows them on their app, and they have huge marketing pushes everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, there was on every YouTube video and every Twitch stream and even on TV, they had, the Battle for Azeroth push for like a World of Warcraft. And I'm not expecting something like that, right? But like bare minimum, you got to get the game on Steam. I know Steam, they might have changed it now. It used to be that they take like 30% of your transactions, but like, I mean, you're literally just like throwing away hundreds of thousands of users by not using that platform. Yeah. And you could say, well, let's go through Epic. There's a ton of Steam users that refuse to use Epic. I don't like using Epic because it doesn't have the same customization Steam does. I don't mind giving my money to Epic. I don't mind at all. The issue is like I can customize my profile extensively and make it exactly how I want on Steam, right? Like it's very noticeable that it's me, and you can differentiate me from other people on Steam because of it. And then on Epic, you're just a name with some numbers after it.
Yeah, well, on Epic just pisses me off. The launcher just keeps popping up notifications, even though I never sign up for any notifications. Like, hey, try this game, try this game. Fuck off, I never signed up for this. And well, the launcher, yeah, just changing the language of the game when I got Troy was kind of difficult, and it launched in Polish instead of English. So yeah, it was all weird, but well, that's beyond the point. Let's not talk about Epic.
Well, CA have a deal with Epic, though, don't they?
Yeah, exactly, as I mentioned with Troy. But going back to what you, Kiwi, said in your argument, CA taking things seriously. I mean, if they take things seriously, they have to put money in it. That's first of all, right? Obviously. There's only so far you can go with just supporting your content creators. That's only one part of the marketing campaign. You cannot base your entire marketing campaign just on that.
But they're not a publisher. Yeah. That's the point I'm making. They're not the publisher, and it's the publisher's responsibility.
No. That's what they're doing with every single Total War game. Like, they have a marketing department that then, for example, sponsors YouTubers or prepares advertisements. That then go either on television or on different banner ads on websites, YouTube ads. Yeah, they all do it within CA, and it's CA's money. Like, I don't think Sega has that much to do with it. Sega just puts money behind it into the studio, and CA just does pretty much everything themselves.
But then at that point, you're asking CA to self-publish, essentially.
Yes.
Because a large responsibility, in fact, the main responsibility of a publisher is
I mean, that's what they did when the game was on Steam. There was no wargaming behind
because it
it.
was self-published.
Yeah, and everybody seemed to, like the old golden Steam days. I mean, many people just feel nostalgia towards that time and then forget just how actually, bad and unpolished that version was. But yeah, there is definitely a large amount of nostalgia. Oh, I remember on Steam, that was better. I mean, it's true for heavy artillery, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, going back to, all the YouTubers thing. You mentioned, and I mentioned, or you mentioned that I mentioned, that large portion of players that played Arena in the past and now refuse to play it on the Chinese version. But if Arena comes back to the West, then they would play again. There's another very large group of players, even way, way bigger, that has no idea that Total War Arena even exists, which is just regular Total War players. Just from my experience, going, for example, to Lionheart's stream, or even the Total War official stream, or any other, Total War content, either on YouTube or on Twitch, and, well, the most on Twitch, for example. I go there, and I mention Total War Arena in Lionheart's chat. And Lionheart's like, oh, yeah, Total War Arena, yeah, right. And then people in the chat are like, what the fuck is Total War Arena? I never heard of it. What? And like, how can you fail at marketing so much that you have a huge Total War fan base that a huge portion of that fan base would also love Total War Arena, and you fail to even notify them that the game exists?
Well, did they?
It's a huge failure.
They self-publish on Steam?
Yes, they did. But that doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. Whoever handled the marketing, whether it was Creative Assembly, Sega, or Wargaming, they failed to do that. And one way of doing that is obviously sponsorships, right? So recently, CA has launched a sponsorship campaign. I think it was for some kind of anniversary. I don't remember, 20 years of Total War or 30 years of Creative Assembly, some kind of like that. And they launched they sponsored a bunch of YouTubers, like native Total War YouTubers who do content for Total War anyway, and they still threw money at them to, hey, we will sponsor a video where you talk about your favorite Total War game. And then they created a playlist on their own channel with all of those videos. So we have Lionheart talking about his favorite game, you have Party Elite, I don't know, Pixelated Apollo, well, Legend of Total War probably not because he's blacklisted, or maybe he got unblacklisted, I don't know. They've got a lot of drama behind that I don't want to dive into. But yeah, basically just sponsor a lot of those native Total War YouTubers, and instead of telling them, yo, talk about your favorite Total War game, which they still do just on their own without even being sponsored, so that's just really a nice gesture from CA towards their own content creator community. But they can just throw money at them again, give them another sponsorship. They'll be, delighted to hear that. That's money from the company they love and they still create a lot of content for. And it'll be like, hey, talk about Total War Arena. Check it out. We know that a lot of your audience is very likely to, be at least interested in Arena. But to fail to even notify a huge portion of your fan base that Total War Arena exists, that's a very, very big mistake.
Well, I think that's evidence enough as to how much money they have put aside for marketing for Total War Arena. It's pretty much zero.
I mean, no mistake, like Creative Assembly itself has a shit ton of money. They're a very successful company and they can put the money in there. But the problem is that they don't believe in Arena and they don't believe in return of the investment. So they don't even want to try it, but they don't even giving it a chance. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, they think that they did give it a chance, and that was the Steam.
Well, yeah, but they fucked it up, essentially.
I would like to add one thing where I said that they pretty much have to release it on Steam in the West. Right now, just looking at the Steam top 100 for today, out of the top 100, 3 of them are Total War games. Like, if that's not obvious that your fan base uses Steam, I don't know what makes it more obvious. I mean, right now, one of the Total War games has as many players as the Elder Scrolls Online, which is the second biggest MMO in the world right now, or maybe not the world, but at least in the West at the very least. And the other thing too is the amount of people that just go to the free tab on Steam, because I imagine it's going to be a free to play release with transactions in the game if it's paid. I don't,
Yeah, obviously.
it's up to them how they want to do it. But I mean, I can't tell you how many people. Like, I mean, there was this game called Among Us, right? It just blew up recently because some streamer, some streamer, YouTuber that was very popular found it recently on Steam. The thing's been out since like I think 2018, and it just got found on Steam, and now it's like the top. It's literally placed number 3. Like, it is as many players as Dota 2 and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So you really need to either, get someone to notice the game either through Steam, or maybe reach out to a large content creator that does something in the related field or something. I don't know how they can do it. Obviously, I don't think you should spend the money on TV commercials and stuff. And, how much money you have to spend is really based on who's publishing it and what their budget is, if they have a budget. But at the bare minimum, guys, like a Western release is synonymous with Steam. It just is. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, beyond the point. I now remember one thing. Obviously, that idea comes from Darren, actually. Darren the War Republic of Play, also a former employee of Creative Assembly. When I talked to him about Total War Arena on one of his streams and also on his Discord, he presented an idea that also is kind of obvious, right? It just goes towards letting Total War Arena, Total War players, Total War fan base, which, as you mentioned, based on Steam stats, is absolutely huge. As I said, Creative Assembly absolutely has the money. It's a very successful company, so they just need to believe and give Total War Arena a fair shot instead of constantly underfunding it. Because the team is very small, the marketing is non-existent because they don't want to put the money in it because they don't believe in Arena. But if they bring it back to the West, they absolutely need to try to believe it, put money behind it, make a risky investment and see if it pays off, right? But without even risking that in the first place, it is very likely to flop again. So they really need to put some money behind it, both in marketing and expanding the team. And yeah, going back to Darren's idea, so obviously combined with sponsoring regular Total War YouTubers to make their audience familiar with Arena, to let them know what Arena even is. They have their own Total War launcher. Just add Total War Arena in there. And every single time somebody launches the Total War launcher through Steam, so obviously you go to Steam, pick your Total War game, let's say Total War Warhammer, and it first launches the launcher, when you can then pick your mods, which ones you want to activate and deactivate, or you can even switch the game which you want to play. And then there'll be Total War Arena logo in there. And people will be like, oh, what's that? That's new. And it has free with big red letters on it. Free Total War game? I mean, now they maybe have flashbacks from Troy, but yeah, like free to play, like, constantly, not just one single time. And a lot of people just put it in the launcher. It's essentially free advertising for them. That doesn't cost, it costs them a little bit, the development cost, right? Just put it in the fucking launcher, and a lot of people will see it, a lot of people will try it that way. Link some advertisement in there, like make an ad on YouTube, link it in the launcher, people will know what Arena is through that ad, and then bam, a lot of Total War fan base will go there and check it out.
I think one of the best things they can do by having it on Steam is it's probably pretty expensive to get the featured tab on Steam. Sometimes Steam probably gives it for a lower fee or free. I don't know how Steam does their charging for that on like anniversaries or something, when they have their like developer anniversary sales and stuff. I think if it's A, on the free tab, and B, you somehow can snag a few of those featured things, like, like 2 months apart or something, you'll get a ton of players. And every time someone launches the game on Steam, I have 220 friends on Steam. I ping 220 people if they're all online that I'm playing your game. It's just that part of it is free advertising.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even
it
think
is
about that bit.
right. Like it does come up in the top right or bottom left, wherever you have it set to. That
I mean,
I am
my
playing
Discord
Total
status is playing Total War Arena, so everybody who sees my status on Discord also is aware of that.
So
And actually, just through that status alone, I had like literally tens, if not even hundreds of people. I'm not over exaggerating. Really, a lot of people
Tens
message me.
or hundreds. That's like a big range there.
Well, it's either few tens, right? So between 10 and 100, or 100 plus. Essentially, no, I'm not going to like 200, 300. That's too much.
No, it's
But
between 5
in-
people and like 600.
In that range, more or less. But yeah, essentially quite a lot of people, especially, judging on our scale, right? I'm not a huge YouTuber with super huge reach or anything. But yeah, just through my Discord status alone. For example, I am on Conqueror's Blade Discord, and I had multiple Conqueror's Blade players seeing my status, because I'm listed there as content creator, right? So I'm always towards the top of the player list. So they see me, right? Because they just go to Conqueror's Blade Discord, and they glimpse to the right. I was like, wait, this guy's playing Total War Arena? What? I like Total War. I've never heard of Total War Arena. I'm gonna message him. And I did have like a lot of people from Conqueror's Blade Discord or any other Discord that I'm in just messaging me and asking me about Total War Arena. I was like, hey, I'm glad you asked. Total War Arena is that awesome game that is right now dead. I can also like, hey, check out this video. I talk about their like when Arena is going to be available and how to play it. So all the information you need to start playing Total War Arena is in this one video. Okay? And that's it. And maybe some of them will check it out. I mean, they already went to the extent of messaging me directly, so it definitely shows they're interested. So yeah, multiply that times few thousand, like Astolfo, right? People who play Total War Arena on Steam, and then it pops up that somebody's playing Total War Arena. And yeah, it will spread again.
the other thing too that I wanted to mention was that if you guys really don't have the budget, or you can't release the game as a full release in the West, I think it would be an awesome gesture that if it is successful in the East and you do make a lot of money from it, maybe just throw up a couple servers in Europe, or and America, preferably both.
I mean, Western release equals Western servers. Like, I don't see any other option really.
I mean, well, NetEase has global presence, so like they could have like a couple servers, right? And it would actually help us ping wise a ton. And your servers, if they're the same as they used to be, you played globally anyway. It's just you got immensely better ping because it went to your server first before to the mega server. So I think like if you guys could even pull that off, that would be great. But yeah, I don't know. Balls in their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think if it does do well in
Okay.
China, then maybe the CA marketing team will actually wake up and decide to self-publish on Steam. And given how integral Steam is to the current Total War economy, then you could almost consider the folding of Wargaming as the publisher of Total War Arena as almost a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Because Total War Wargaming did have global publication rights, which meant that there was no way it was ever going to go on Steam, which meant that it was always going to be a kind of fringe whatever game. But now that we have this Chinese release with limited publishing rights, if I'm to understand correctly, Mr.
yeah, they
then-
have rights to China only, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, well that's actually really good news.
I mean,
Um,
I don't obviously know
on
the details
Steam, it
of the
would be
deal, right?
great.
But that's what they've announced. NetEase is going to publish it in China. And then they also, in the very same news article, they said that, there are no plans to release Total War Arena in the West, but they will be monitoring closely how it does in China and what the interest of the Western audience is in Arena. And then based on that, they may make decision to publish Total War Arena in the West. But whether it will be under NetEase, or it will be themselves, or through another different deal, they didn't specify. Unless I didn't read correctly or just misremember something. But yeah, the NetEase thing, right? NetEase, the deal with NetEase came through Free Kingdoms because they wanted to publish Free Kingdoms in China, and that's just the law in China that you cannot publish the game in China yourself. You have to do it for a Chinese company. Only Chinese companies can publish games in China. So they made a deal with NetEase. Like, hey, NetEase, you're publishing Free Kingdoms in China, but obviously CA publishes Free Kingdoms all over the world through Steam themselves. And NetEase has rights to China only. And part of the deal, or extension of the deal, was to an extension of the deal later on was to publish Arena and Total War Elysium in China as well. But Elysium again is published globally by themselves, CA by themselves. They publish it on Android, and I don't know if they publish it on Steam right now, but there is a Steam version that you can play. But I don't know if it's available publicly yet. It may be still in development. But either way, all of that just outside of China is still published by CA. Yeah, NetEase has nothing to do with it. So I don't think it would be a different case with Arena.
I don't think NetEase has an issue with publishing on Steam either, because I actually made a few mods for Three Kingdoms Total War, and I had a bunch of Chinese players ask me to make more mods, and they played it through Steam. So I don't know if it's their own launcher or if NetEase published it through Steam in China.
Yeah, there
or
is,
if it's
another
Chinese
way Steam, which is its own story.
Yeah, so I mean, I think NetEase is willing to publish through Steam, even if they were the Western publishers.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I would definitely support that as long as, they get the monetization right. Because bear in mind, one advantage of having CA self-publish and NetEase publish in China is that NetEase can do the, I don't know if this is just a stereotype, but, hardcore grinding microtransactions, bullshit that Chinese people really like and Westerners don't. And they can find another way to monetize in the West. So, there's that advantage of flexibility if CA publishes themselves.
Well, first, since we are talking a lot about money, NetEase is another extremely rich company. Like, we're talking one of the top companies in China, like rivaling Tencent. So they're not at Tencent level, but they are still extremely filthy rich. And they are willing to put money behind Arena, or hopefully they are. Looking at so far what they're doing in China, it seems like they're doing a fair bit of marketing in there. I don't know exactly to what extent because, well, I don't have any connection to China whatsoever, so it's really hard to tell. But from the glimpses we get into what's happening in there, it seems as if NetEase actually believes in the project, unlike CA, sadly, and tries to make it a success through a successful marketing. There is a counter actually on their website. If you go to arena.163.com, you see a counter on the main website, which I think just counts the amount of players who have signed up for the closed beta, which at the moment is already, I think, over 250,000. So
holy shit!
Yeah,
really?
It's quite a decent number. I mean, obviously, I don't really know how it compares to Wargaming and Arena population, and how big it is compared to a regular Chinese release. If it's anything good or pretty bad. I mean, obviously, China has 1.5 billion population, probably more at this point. So yeah, I don't really have any comparison to what to compare it to actually gauge whether that number is anything impressive or not. But just the fact that they're willing to display it publicly seems that they're pretty confident it is a good number. Yeah, if NetEase were to publish it in the West, there is a similar situation with Conqueror's Blade, kind of. How it works with Conqueror's Blade is that there is a Chinese company, Booming Games, developing the game, and NetEase publishes it in China only, and then MyCom has the global publishing rights everywhere outside of China. But there is also some Steam release in APAC countries. So Conqueror's Blade situation is really complicated and all over the place. But anyway, Mycom publishes it here in Europe and Russia and North America. And then they publish it through Steam in APAC and I think South America and Africa. So yeah, it's quite all over the place. But anyway, my point is that there are multiple versions of Conqueror's Blade. So there is the Chinese version, which is, as Kiwi discussed, pay to win, you know. But then when it comes to the Mycom version, the Western version, they change it. So they remove, for example, the thing that I know is absolutely removed. They have epic and legendary doctrines, which are absolutely broken and overpowered and pay to win in China. And in the Western version, they for a very long time didn't exist. And when they finally made its way into the Western release, they have been changed to temporary doctrines that you cannot buy and you can only get them as rewards for missions. So it's, you know, they're still kind of broken, but they have been largely toned down. The pay to win element has been completely removed from them, and they are not permanent, they're only temporary, so we cannot make your units super overpowered permanently.
That's clever. That's clever.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the same what CA could do. If, you know, the Chinese audience is willing to put up with some pay to win bullshit, which we know they are, right? NetEase can do that pay to win bullshit in China, get a lot of money through there, and then that can in turn power even the Western release, which will not be pay to win, and they can, you know, monetize the game in different ways. But we'll get to that later. Let's move on to the next subtopic, kind of, which is what I want to see in their further marketing. What they already did, actually, is the esport event. I really liked it. You know, it was in the early Steam days. I think it was May 2015. It was May 2015 or 2016. Don't remember the exact date. I don't want to calculate it right now. But in the early stages, they just released. They just called it closed beta. I think it went from closed alpha to closed beta, and for the closed beta release, they made the tournament. So they invited a bunch of Total War YouTubers like Lionheart, Alex the Rambler, Warrior of Sparta,
Jesse Cox as well, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to say. Like, and also YouTubers, content creators that are not native Total War YouTubers, like Jesse Cox. I don't know who else was there. Don't really remember, but yeah.
Me, I was super important at that event.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should have invited me, obviously. Like, hello, CA. I'm still holding a grudge against you, Dogbird, for not inviting me. So just saying, fix your mistake. Next event you organize, you invite me. I'll be the commentator right next to, I don't know, Demon or I don't know, Foreign or Monte Cristo or whoever they're gonna hire associated with ESL. I mean, they're not associated with ESL. Foreign, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just a joke. They can still hire me to be analyst or just play there, or not hire, invite me. I can do that shit for free, man. Selling myself some no. But yeah, essentially, I would like to see that event again. Just host some kind of, you know, Total War Arena is back event. Host a huge tournament of some sorts. Well, not even a huge, just some kind of an event to show your audience that you're serious. And that is also going to be a great tool to showcase, you know, Total War Arena to your trusted Total War Arena fan base. Not Total War, just Total War fan base, right? Do the same shit again. That was a brilliant idea. Just do it again. Just maybe slightly better this time, maybe bigger. Invite all those Lionhearts, Pixelated Apollos, Jackie Fishes, etc., all those biggest Total War YouTubers. Yeah, get them to promote your game, and then continue to have contact with them. Well, we obviously still have contact because they're in the Total War content creator program, but in terms of Total War Arena, right? Keep them interested or keep sponsoring them. Hey, make a Total War Arena video. Here's, I don't know the rates, £200 for our Arena video. I was like, hell yeah. Getting in there playing one battle, £200 just like that. Who wouldn't like that, right? Well, I don't know how those YouTubers price themselves, but, you know, still a good deal.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I've heard some YouTubers that is like, yo, 2,000 for 1 hour of streaming your game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, for some YouTubers, that's pretty good value for money.
But well, we are not here to discuss industry rights, just the general ideas. So yeah, would you like them to see do any other events? Well, there was Team Up Tuesdays, a regular mini event hosted by Dogbird, and then Wargaming kind of continued that with Akram and Sasha. I don't know if those were Tuesdays or not, but yeah, they were doing team ups with the community. So yeah, they can
they were
continue
quite
something like that.
popular when they were streaming on their Twitch. It kind of, definitely solidified more anything like sent a message of how serious they were about it.
Yeah, I think
At
also back in the
times
Steam
when
they were
general
doing that
public
on their
was
own
not
channel.
entirely sure.
Hmm? Sorry?
It sent a message that they were serious about it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
community engagement at a time when people were not really sure how serious they were.
Yeah, exactly. And as I was saying, to show that they're serious, right, and to actually show that they were not serious anymore, back on Steam, they were streaming that on the Total War Arena. God damn it. It's just coded in my brain. When I say Total War, it immediately follows from my brain with Arena. No, the Total War official channel on Twitch, their main Twitch channel. And then when Wargaming came, they just made a new channel called Total War Arena, which didn't have that large of a following. And then everybody who follows the Total War official channel on Twitch, which is, well, I have no idea, but definitely way more people than the Total War Arena channel, which had like maybe 5k followers or something. That's really low. And yeah, everybody who has notifications on, they'll see, oh, Total War Official is streaming Total War Arena. The first time I heard about it, let me check it out, right? And they had not only Team Up Tuesdays, they also had Play with the Devs, which is essentially Dogbird playing with some other devs, like Dave, like Mecha Chomp. Who else was there? Leif Barrows, the guy who designs the maps. And yeah, we got to know these people and got to know what they're doing in the team, what they're responsible for, and what they think about what they do. So if Leif Barrows shows up on Steam, or I think it's pronounced Live, sorry. So Live comes in on the stream and you can talk to him about the maps. Like, hey, I really like your Jergovia design, but I think Marathon fucking sucks. Well, sorry to say that, so don't be offended. Just please fix it. So yeah, that was very interesting to see those streams. And then in the Wargaming era, when they kind of gave up on it, I don't know, it just stopped and they just made their own channel. Yeah, it wasn't really good. So there's just, maybe it was because of the Wargaming deal, right? Because Wargaming were the publishers, so it was the Wargaming people streaming, and Wargaming aren't the developers, so they couldn't get the developers on the stream. And CA were only doing their, what was it called? Some kind of war room, I think it was called, where they, usually went through the patch notes and discussed the latest changes or what they're planning to do, which was still pretty good, but it was just once every 2 weeks, I believe. Yeah, not as often as it used to be.
Twitch in general. I think their Twitch in general was underutilized in the
Wargaming era.
So it comes to my brain. In the Wargaming era, I think they just underutilized it a lot too. Like, not only did they switch to the smaller channel, but even the smaller channel for Arena was, rarely live. And, it did occasionally host people, which was an awesome gesture for especially streamers that streamed a lot.
True.
Yeah, it was great to have that, get hosted by that.
Hey, bro, I was on the auto host list. Hey, that felt like super proud. Also, I was the first channel they followed. Fuck yeah.
And they were even brave enough a couple of times to let me stream directly on their platform, like using their stream code, which was also a super nice gesture.
But they did
that was really cool of them. But I think that it was just overall underused.
They allowed other people to stream on their Total War Arena channel?
Just me.
Nani? You're using hacks.
Nani?
That's officially hacks, Gary.
As the premier competitive Total War Arena shoutcaster.
Yeah, obviously.
Burn that witch.
Tournament for them.
When was that?
It was twice. It was a Russian tournament and then some other tournament.
I feel offended for not even being contacted about it. Fuck you, Wargaming.
Like I said, premier content.
Yeah,
who they
sure.
when they come to me.
Obviously, I do not know a single thing about tournaments in Arena. But yeah, moving on. I guess that's the content topic exhausted, unless you... Well, not content, event topic. Do you have any other ideas for events, other than streams and ESL events? No? I mean, you can
Not really, no.
you can count to that category kind of things like Gamescom, right? When Wargaming came to Gamescom with Total War Arena. But yeah, that was also kind of a failure because it was mistimed. Because Arena, when they showed it in Gamescom, they didn't fix the pathfinding, and then a lot of people who came and checked it out was like, "What the fuck is this game? My units don't even want to move." Right? Or they just kind of go around the corner. I'm not going to play it. So yeah, that was really mistimed. Like their marketing, marketing department was completely dispatched from development department, and yeah, that didn't mesh up well and ended up in a failure there. But right now, the game works pretty well. There are no like major game-breaking bugs like back in the day with pathfinding, so there's no really risk in there. So you can safely promote it and stuff like Gamescom. I mean, also all the Gamescoms are closed because pandemic, but. Astolfo?
I mean, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure all of us here could come up with pretty much endless events. I mean, I did a marketing degree and everything, so I can come up with a ton of shit, but I think like we've kind of hit the big stuff, and everything else is either too small for their purview or they've probably already thought of it and passed over it. Or maybe they haven't thought of it, who knows, but...
So what was that? Did Kiwi just die for a second?
He's back now,
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
So when... Whoa. Okay, goodbye Kiwi. Anything you guys want to add in the general marketing department, or shall we move on about what Arena needs to do, what CA needs to do to make Arena a success? Hi Kiwi, welcome back.
Adding foxes to every faction in the game.
Are you sure you'll be able to handle that? Also, I don't know if it really falls under marketing. Well, I think we've talked about marketing quite extensively, so yeah, just sponsor your regular YouTubers, Total War YouTubers, reach the audience that you already have. That is a huge conversion rate you have there, and then start reaching out outside, start sponsoring YouTubers, Twitch streamers, outside of the Total War community within similar genres that, stream other free-to-play games, other strategy games. And well, if you want to go further, you can start even, promoting it through like, I don't know, League of Legends streamers or fucking Fortnite or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea because, well, at least for myself, right? If I watch a Total War streamer and he suddenly promotes a racing game, like I'm not there to watch racing games. I'm not interested in racing games. And this guy is playing a racing game. Probably he has no idea how to play a racing game, so he's not going to sell that well anyway.
Do you mean Raid Shadow Legends?
Raid Shadow Legends, I guess. Again, I get those ads all over the place, like Raid Shadow Legends, Raid Shadow Legends. This stream, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Dude, I am not interested in this game in the slightest, and they keep, sponsoring the YouTubers that I'm interested in.
They spend a shit ton of money on marketing, and they have a shitty game, and they're the most played, or like
that's just the magic of marketing.
Mobile game, yeah.
As I said in the previous podcasts, the same is true for Conqueror's Blade. The game is absolutely atrociously bad. Game-breaking bugs everywhere, balance all over the place. The general gameplay, optimization of the game, awful. Like there's very very few redeeming qualities about Conqueror's Blade, and they have a really bad retention. Because I experienced firsthand, right? I run a house in their game, so I have a lot of people, new people to the game. They want to join a house, so they join SUNTZU house, and then a week later they stop playing. 2 weeks later they stop playing. They message me like, "Yo, Mistru, sorry, this game isn't for me. I'm leaving the house. Thank you for the time. It was fun, but yeah, I don't like the game." So yeah,
You just described me.
yeah, there's a lot of people like that. Oh, folks, all of you played Conqueror's Blade. Astolfo, do you still play?
I was about to say, pointing finger at me.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
that's like a huge amount of their audience. They just play the game for a week or two, realize how bad it is, and then just leave. And how the game is still alive and very much successful. How? Because marketing. Because marketing keeps pushing like advertisements and other campaigns to keep bringing new people into the game to replace the people that are leaving. Arena doesn't have that much problem with player retention. That there are not that many players leaving the game, so all they need to do is just keep inviting new players in. But they
least in
they never really
America.
tried that.
In America, they also get the featured tab on Steam quite often. I notice it probably like once every 2 or 3 months. It comes up on the Steam featured. And it's still, I think it's the 98th most played game today. It might be the 96th or 7th. It's one of those.
Yeah,
But
also
like I
keep in
said-
mind that most of the player base of Western MyCom release actually plays through the MyCom launcher. So just like I do. So whenever I play Conqueror's Blade, that isn't registered through Steam. And probably, I don't know, 60-70%. I have no idea if those numbers are correct, but from just what I talk to people, right, when they have problems, they say like, "Oh, I play through Stream, I play through MyCom launcher, blah blah blah." So most people that I have encountered who have told me whether they play through Steam or MyCom launcher, most of them play through MyCom launcher. Maybe just a coincidence, small sample. So I may be completely wrong, but a lot of people just play through MyCom launcher, so that doesn't go through the Steam. So you can easily add 20-30% on top of that, maybe more on top of that number, and yeah, to have it more.
I mean, it's not a small number. It's in the top 100 on Steam.
Yeah,
it's above
and that's why I'm saying that it's quite a large number, and then you add even more on top of that, players who are not playing through Steam. So yeah. That's how hugely popular Conqueror's Blade is, even though it being a shitty game with a huge retention problem. But they're just constantly coming up with clever marketing ideas, or just spam the advertisement on the level of Raid Shadow Legends, and that keeps the game alive. And if it wasn't profitable, like if they weren't getting the return on their investment, they wouldn't have been doing it for such a long time. The game is already alive for in the Western in open beta release since May last year.
Or they could make YouTube ads pretending that Total War Arena is actually a puzzle game where you have to pull levers in order to get the gold and not.
I always report those fucking ads, dude.
Oh my
Always.
god, I hate them.
I mean, there was a banner ad like this.
Dude, I've seen one where they straight stole Total War gameplay. Like, it was actual, like, Rome 2 gameplay or Three Kingdoms gameplay. I can't remember which. And they were claiming that it was their mobile game.
Well, what I'm talking about is an actual Total War Arena ad. And what they did, it was like you had your unit of infantry, right? And there was an enemy unit of infantry in front of you. And you had two arrows, one that attacks it from the front and one that attacks it from the flank. And you had to pick which one, to attack. If you pick the one that attacks from the front, it's like, oh, no, you've lost. Flank. See, now you're a smart boy. Here, go sign up.
Although, a lot of the players that I've played with, I'm not too sure if they'd be able to pass that test.
Well, okay, let's move on
Influence.
to the other point. I think we've really exhausted the marketing point. But yeah, it just shows that successful marketing is really important, and that is something that CA neglected the most in the past two attempts: the Steam attempt and the Wargaming attempt. So yeah, please get it right this time around. And you have a great product to sell, but just sell it instead of just hiding. Because we had all that evidence that Arena kind of like Creative Assembly shying away. They didn't want to admit that Total War Arena exists. They made a new separate channel for it. They didn't feature it on the launcher. They didn't notify the overall Total War community that Total War Arena exists. It's like, oh yeah, Total War Arena is there, but you don't have to try that. It's fine. It's like, why? Why are you so shy about your product?
I still have a ton of people on my friends list from Steam that I met on Arena during the Steam days, and they never played it after the Steam days because they just never knew it existed.
Yeah, I mean,
you see that so much in Reddit. Like somebody comes back to Reddit and be like, "Oh my god, is this game coming back?" And it's like, yeah, there've already been 2 beta tests, because there are a lot of people that actually have fond memories of this game that don't know that it's.
I mean, yeah. Well, right now the only source of information for the Western players is through the community itself. There are no official announcements about it. But when they closed the Steam one, it was, hey, we are going to go offline for 2 months. I think they said no more than 2 months, or at least 2 months. I don't remember. But people were expecting them to come back after 2-3 months max. I mean, because they said like, oh, because it's easier to fix the balance, fix the bugs when the game is offline, when you don't have to constantly, upkeep the servers, blah blah. And then radio silence for 8 months, I believe. 8 months of radio silence, and then suddenly, bam, we are coming back through Wargaming. And even that, it wasn't like properly announced. It was all like under the radar, and only those who were really following Arena knew about it. Everybody else was just left in the dark. Just like you said, Asafa, your friends had no idea, because they never properly announced it. They never properly marketed it. And a lot of players who actually wanted to play Total War Arena, enjoy the game, had no idea that it continues to exist.